Bayern Munich have beaten Wolfsburg. It was a game of Niko Kovac's return, and it is the return of my player ratings here for this game. It was a good game. It was good to see Bayern beat that low block of Wolfsburg. It was good to see Julian Nagelsmann 4-2-2-2 formation work against a more deep-lying system, a more defensive system in Niko Kovac's Wolfsburg system, and the team played very well. I was very impressed with the performance. Front four were good as ever. Let's get right into those player ratings. So starting from the front, as always, Serge Gnabry gets a 6.5 for me, because while he had good movement and he had a few chances, created a few chances, he wasn't that involved, he wasn't as active as the other attackers, and he got subbed off at halftime, so I can't really give him more than a 6.5. Sadio Mane, this may seem harsh, I'm going to give him a 6. He seems to have lost some of that pace, some of the explosiveness, some of the finesse, some of the panache that he had at Liverpool. But in contrast, he is still a very good poacher and he works well in this Bayern system. But I'm going to only give him a 6 today because he was offside a few times and he should have scored. And he had 2 disallowed goals. We must, for offsides, we must note that. But I think that he should have scored in general, even in the chances where he wasn't offside. He wasn't super involved. In the times he tried to dribble, he wasn't able to get past the man. He seems to have lost that explosiveness. He can't really get past the man. He's more of a Ronaldo type poacher now, which can be a good thing also, because this Bayern team does need the striker. They do need the structure. But he's not the explosive, pacey winger he was before. I think he's a more refined, maybe a better technical ability, but his physical attributes have dropped. 6 out of 10 for me. On to my man of the match for the 3rd match in a row, though. Jamal Musiala. Musiala was ethereal yet again in that left half space. He just collects the ball and glides. The commentator was talking about how he was like a hotel lobby, and it really makes sense because he collects the ball with his back to goal, and then as in that hotel lobby you go through that circular thing, it just ends up him facing towards the goal. The ball ends up towards the goal instantly. It's so fluid, it's so good from Musiala. He's incredible. He's the best player at Bayern right now. He could be the best player in the world right now. If we're talking about this season, I don't know anyone who's had a better 3 games than him. He's been man of the match in the all-star Bayern Bayern squad for 3 games in a row. Excellent dribbling, unbelievable. Jamal Musiala, what a player. Now Thomas Muller also, it's Muller and Musiala, it's the combo, they're so good together. Muller had a few chances where he maybe should have shot, I thought, but he still got a goal and an assist. So I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. He was ram-doitering all over the pitch. It was still a great performance, a typical Muller performance. His goal was so typical Muller as well, where he just stuck out a leg and it was almost like a deflection, but Muller was planning that. Muller knew the keeper was diving that side, so he would just do a cheeky stick out of the leg. It was unbelievable. His reactions are so fast. I don't think any other player in world football has fast reactions like that, to have a shot coming in, a fast shot coming in, and be able to stick your leg out, direct the ball. He's so cultured, he's so adept in these situations. Unbelievable. Great performance again. Now Marcel Sabitzer. I thought Sabitzer was excellent again. He was the better centre mid again. 7.5 out of 10. Excellent, tenacious in defense. He was stopping counters. He's having this Thiago-like ability to be able to stop counters, but then unlike Kimmich, he's a bit more agile and he's able to dribble a bit more. He's able to be a bit more mobile in defeating the enemy press, and I thought he was just excellent again. He had a few opportunities from shots, he was creating good chances, ball progression, excellent, 7.5. For Kimmich, he was decent going forward, as he usually is, some nice long passes, but I think he was worse than Sabitzer yet again, and he's a defensive liability. He's basically a traffic cone in defense. He's so easy to dribble. The defensive awareness is not there, and I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. It wasn't good. It's what we've been seeing from Kimmich over the past few times, though, because Kimmich hasn't been good defensively for a long time in that midfield position. The defense was very good today, I thought. I thought Davies gets an 8.5 out of 10. He was the starter. He was the catalyst of counterattacks. He had that magnificent run for the Muller goal, and he was just able to spur the team forward whenever maybe the ball was on the right, so most of the Wolfsburg players were swayed towards that side. Bayern would quickly switch it towards Davies. He would go fully up, there'd be space to roam. Quick, pacey, direct counterattacks. Excellent. Davies 8.5. Hernandez, I thought, was not that good. He wasn't bad, though. He was solid. He got a yellow card, so for that I'm going to give him a 6.5. He was decent. Upamecano really impressed me again. Very mature performance. He seems to have cut out the mistakes, which might have been calling him Upa Mistake Kano or something like that last season. Such was his mistakes, but he was very solid. Very good performance. 7.5. Benjamin Pavard, as we love to say, he had a Argentina-esque in the World Cup shot, which was a decent attempt. He got dribbled past in the first few minutes, and it seemed like he was targeted by the opposition team. Maybe they thought he was a liability, but he wasn't. He wasn't a liability. He was very well, defended well, got forward well. Just a good performance from him, 7 out of 10. And Manuel Neuer, he didn't have much to do, but his ball distribution was just impeccable as always. You watch players like David De Gea the other day, and then you see players like Neuer. Neuer's older. Neuer is also so much better in those ball-playing aspects. He's so deliberate in choosing who to pass to, when to pass to, what foot they're passing on. That's how accurate his passes are. Great distribution, and he had one great save when there was a cross coming in. There was no touch on it, therefore Neuer thought it might have been going one way, but he was able to stick out a hand, save the ball. Good performance, 7 out of 10. Subs, the only sub I'll mention is Leroy Sané. He came on at half-time for Gnabry, and he was occupying decent positions, decent 1-2s and shots. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. It was a good performance, it was encouraging. And I'd like to see more of Sané coming on for maybe someone like Gnabry and seeing the Sané, Mane, Musiala, Muller combination. Finally, Nagelsmann. I thought that Nagelsmann today, I think he gets a 9 out of 10. It was a great tactical performance. The 4-2-2-2 is just working sublimely. I also want to mention his coaching team. Dino Topmuller is having a masterclass right now because there were 2 good corner routines. One was a corner routine to Sané and Gnabry, where it was like the Robben goal against Man United. They would be far and they would have a shot from outside the box from the corner, but there was also one where Musiala was just passed the ball from the corner, and that's clearly worked on in the training ground. It was very nice to see. While it was nice to also see Bayern break a low block, unlike the Eintracht Frankfurt's or Leipzig's we played, Wolfsburg were more defensive, and it's good that this team, the fluid structure, can breach these low blocks. And in terms of some of the tactics to explain, it was like the classic 4-2-2-2, but Davies was a bit more inside than he usually was. He was a bit more contributing in midfield, and I think this meant that one of the front 4 often was on the left, which we haven't seen in previous games because it's usually Davies providing width on the left, but Davies was providing that impetus a bit more inside. He was providing more attacking threat from the inside. He was being a bit more direct because he wasn't shunted out wide, so I thought that was interesting. As always, Musiala was on the half turn, and I don't have this up here, but they showed in the end of the first half, they showed the map of where Bayern players had been, and Musiala was smack bang in the middle of the pitch, which really shows how much he's interchanging with the whole attacking line, but also how inside he is. Even though he's marked as the left winger, he's really playing as a cam position. He was collecting the balls in that half space. As I said, he was like a hotel lobby door thing on the turn. So good, so agile, so brilliant, and he was just amazing. Muller was staying a bit more on the wide today, and I thought this was interesting because he provided more width on the right hand side and therefore was acting almost like an overlapping opportunity before the wingers like Mane, Sané, Musiala, who were dribbling inside. Then Muller would provide that outlet on the right for the cross to come in, and it created some interesting opportunities. While he was constantly there was constant interchanging between the front 4 as always. Pavard was getting high up, so as well as Muller being out wide, Pavard was going out wide, so there were lots of dangerous attacks on that right hand side with overlaps, underlaps. As Pavard got further out wide on the right, then Muller would slice inside a bit. Good crossing opportunities, quite interesting. And also interesting thing is one of Sabitzer and Kimmich often dropped deep to collect the ball, and this was to aid Bayern build up. It was quite smart, quite interesting. I would say Musiala was a striker in the second half, so he was slightly less involved, but he was still involved. All the attackers were involved. The tactics were just really good from Bayern, and this is my player ratings. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the content, and see you next week for the next Bayern match, next player ratings, next match preview. Goodbye.